Hello everyone, Donut DM here, and I got most of the things I was supposed to do done today already. Most of the things, not all of them. But anyways, we're going to be taking Stone Vigil. I'm bringing in my worthless AI companions this time around, because I'm assuming they're not going to do the mechanics, which means I get to show you guys the mechanics. Or they're not going to do them, and this is going to be one crazy ride. Either way, let's get going. So, I'm not going to be doing too many huge pulls. I do have an AI healer. But this is definitely a point where you can start doing bigger pulls. There's going to be points in this dungeon where when you walk around corners and stuff, a dragon is going to pop down and attack, like right there. That is exactly what I was talking about. So I'm going to grab these two groups. I'm going to use a ton, absolute ton of stuff, and we're going to pull this group back. You know, maybe AI is not a great idea, but hey, we're killing stuff pretty fast. Yeah, every time I cross over that threshold, that bad boy's gonna attack. So why don't we pull the enemies into this room here? Do that from the get-go, guys. Pull the enemies into the room. That'll help. Whether or not the DPS are gonna follow, that's another question. But anywho. You're gonna ignore that room. It's just got a enemy and maybe a chest in it. And the chest only contains worthless glamour. I think that actually might be a chest they removed because it contains nothing but worthless glamour. Fun fact. So I like to go ahead and just grab this dragon over here. Because there's no sense in letting it run into your group. Go ahead and just grab it. Be in control of the situation. It's a lot better than letting it unfurl on its own. You know, me and I are actually doing a lot better than I give them credit for. Alright, so we're gonna grab this dragon. We're gonna ignore those, and up there, where you see that sunlight coming down, this is where the dragon's gonna pop out and do his little fire breath. Right around here, I think. If you pay attention to my defensive cooldowns in this bottom right, you'll see I'm really trying to keep at least one up at any given time to make sure the AI healer isn't struggling too much. I will say this used to be my favorite dungeon before they changed how stances work for tanks and healers. This used to be the prime example of both tanks being able to juggle between, you're not, I guess not tanks, but Paladin, my old tank of choice, juggling between sword stance, which is damage, and shield stance, which generates more aggro. And they took that away to make tanking simpler. At the same time, they took away the healer's ability to swap between more damage or more healing. So, first boss, he's gonna have some directional abilities. So you're just gonna do the classic face him away from the party. Smack him around a bit. He will move on his own here in a second. And when he does, you're just gonna tail behind him and make sure you stand behind the target. think it gave the AI a free pass because of their AI. Alright, so that ability right there, swinge, I went ahead and got hit so you can see it. It silences and pacifies you, which means you essentially can't use any abilities. So that's the one where you want to be standing behind to avoid. We're not even gonna bother opening up that treasure coffer. We're just gonna keep on going. So, to the right, there's a treasure coffer back there. Like always, we ignore the optional rooms because nobody wants to do optional content. In this group, I recommend grabbing and pulling back away from that patrol, because the number of enemies just starts getting crazy high. But if you have a good healer and not a piece of trash like AI here, sorry Rivian, but you're kind of bad, you can pretty safely, yeah. Let's use the shortcut. I would have liked to have run this with real people, but I waited in queue for about 10 minutes. And I said, I'm not no dang DPS. I'm not waiting in queue for 10 gosh darn minutes for a dungeon. So here we are. So if I die, which is quite possible, again, it's because I'm impatient. That's why I play tank. I'm always queuing up for leveling roulettes and trial roulettes, adventure and need. If it's healer, I'll swap off to healer. See that dumb dragon. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and grab this patrol, because he's gonna cause more problems for us if he hits us later than he is if we get him right now. Alright, so I'm gonna show you guys something real quick here. You guys see how Gunbreaker has equal, this actually might be because I'm scaled down. Where's my tank? I should have some old tank gear somewhere. There we go. Old tank gear. It's actually pretty equal. Okay. Well, back in the old days, these magic ice sprites, they did so much damage. Just because they're magical. It's a load of hoopla. You alright? Thank you. So, Reprisal right here. That is going to be your #1 tank ability that at this point you really need to make sure you're rotating in. It is on such a short cooldown at just a minute. And it reduces all nearby enemies' damage by 10%. Essentially, every time that bad boy comes up, you should just be slapping it down. If anything, just because the less the healer has to heal you, the more damage they can do and the faster you guys can get out of this place. Notice that once the positional AoEs are done, I run back into position. You guys should be pretty much experts at that by now. So you run around the corner. Okay, so mechanics for this dungeon. A big dragon is going to appear outside in front of one of these 3 cannons. The DPS or healer, typically, will hop on the cannon and shoot the dragon. We'll see. We'll see if that is the case. Now they've kind of curated some of these dungeons, so I'm hoping they included this one because the AI would do the mechanics. But it's also Square Enix. You never know. Alright, so you can see that Bertha is available here. Okay. Nope. You. Yeah. If you don't get the cannon, the dragon's gonna shoot off some pretty big damage. And if it weren't for the fact that these AI have a buff, that means they ignore this mechanic, they'd be hurting pretty bad. So, whenever you see that tornado, just don't stand in it. So anyways, for the sake of explaining this, because this is not at all really an optional mechanic, when the dragon appears in front of either of these 3 cannons, DPS or healer will go and use the cannon. Just whoever's right there next to it. So then we zoom on through, grab these dragons, and try to fight all 3 of these at once if the patrol lines up. If not, no big deal. Right now I'm just chillaxing. I've got some lo-fi beats playing in the background. Obviously I have it set up where you can't hear because copyright's a thing. So we're gonna grab one of these patrols. Hey. I've killed a couple of them. I'll go ahead and run up, grab this next set. Nope. Okay, you can do that with a real healer. You can do that with a real healer. I don't know why I thought things would be different. Nothing's changed. Rivian is still a piece of garbage, but it's my fault. I haven't been giving her the attention she needs, guys. I haven't been sending my my people on missions. Remember, when you have a squadron, it's important to always send them on missions. That way they don't end up like Rivian. Look at this. I should not be so low on health. try this again. Vivian, come on. Okay. These 3 dragons are the last mob of the dungeon. So, we just grab them, kill them, and we'll get on to the final boss. Again, popping reprisal because I do not trust this Rivian. She might be my best healer, but... Oh, actually no, she's not my best healer. You could tell because of her lack of glamour. Okay guys, that's my mistake. I didn't bring my best healer in here. I brought my B team. Alright, so cutscene time. Skipping the cutscene. Durgan spawns. So, grab the dragon and pull that bad boy right into the corner. As you can see, he just used a big frost breath ability that hurts if you get the healer and stuff hit by it. So now, I'm gonna zoom out. That icy portion of the ground is where you don't stand. And then you get ready. Wherever he lands, he'll knock you back. The damage of it is negligible, so don't worry about trying to dodge it too much. So he's casting Rhyme Read, just an AoE around him. Go ahead and use the limit just to... That does some decent damage. Alright, so when he does that ability, he leaves behind an AoE of damage. Just don't stand in it. It's that simple. So he's flying up. I believe this ability... Okay, normally it targets every single person, and it'll drop another circle. Sliding along. And he's gonna do it again. Alright, and there's no more tricks here. It's just going to be a straightforward smack him till he's dead. Alright, that right there is the Stone Vigil. Sorry that I died a lot. You can blame this idiot right here. And anyways, thank you guys for watching. Next up is a trial. I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out, and I'll get both videos uploaded for you guys. We're gonna fight against Garuda. So, thank you guys for watching, and we're getting close to the end of A Realm Reborn, which means the start of healing videos and some more difficult dungeons. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.